next presentation by Amit Srivastava, who is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing with Rakuten India. To give you a background, imperative of enterprise-wide observability and focus on what Amit is the go-to market leader at Rakuten India. He heads the Rakuten SixthSense business and is responsible for the strategy, revenue, and branding of Rakuten SixthSense globally. With more than 22 years of experience across sales, leadership, business unit, setup, technology, sales, strategic planning, Amit actively engaged with product engineering team to ideate, innovate, and systemize to bring cutting-edge enterprise product to the market under the Rakuten SixthSense brand. Before Rakuten, Amit worked with AppDynamics, CA Technologies, Dell Technology, Fujitsu, Colt, and IIT in various customer-focused roles such as tech advisor, sales, and sales leader. Can we welcome Amit with big round of applause, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. I know we are slightly delayed, and I would hate to be in between your lunch time or whatever the next session is before the lunch. You know, when I was asked to speak in this forum and have a session, I was also told that the motto or theme for this event is no jargons, only real case studies. Being a salesperson, I didn't I couldn't really put myself to it. My name is Amit Srivastava. I head sales, marketing, whatever, essentially reaching out to the customers, doing whatever most of the salespeople are doing. To prepare for this event or this talk, I went back to my CEO and asked him, what should I speak which looks real or which is real, which is not jargon. This topic we thought that will probably resonate with you, but has a background. Rakuten, I don't know if you know, is a 25 years old Japanese technology conglomerate. Some of you, anyone if you know this? Some of you might know it as FCB sponsor, Messi's jersey. Some of you might probably know it as e-commerce major in Japan. Close to about $20 billion revenue, is 25 years old, 75 different businesses. So we are number one e-commerce, we are fastest growing telecom company, not only as an operator, but also as a technology provider or a solution provider. We are number one fintech, number one, actually the first digital bank in Japan, and similarly there are 75 different businesses. So background is, we face these problems. 75 different companies means, or 75 different businesses means, we internally have about 75 different CIOs and CISOs. So I spoke to a few of them, tried to understand what keeps them on their toes. We also did a couple of surveys, by the way, in last some time back, about 6 months back. These two came as top 2 priorities or challenges that they face every day. One, look at the DNA of Rakuten, which is 25 years old and 75 different companies, as I talked about. 60 of those different businesses came in last 15 years, which means every quarter a new business is formed within our company. And we also have to sustain the existing businesses which are anyway running, from few $1 million to few $1 billion businesses within the organization itself. The most important thing for every CIO in every different group or different group company is to have the speed of innovation sustained or improved. The other is improving the operational efficiency, because sprawl, you know, the IT sprawl is too high for us, is that you'll have to continuously look at improving the operational efficiency. We did a survey about, as I just mentioned, we did a survey about 6 months back. You know, by the way, these are not the top ones. Top remain the same. Cloud adoption. You know, most of the CIO's mind still is cloud adoption is the number 1 priority. But number 2 and number 3 are improving the operational efficiency and improving the speed of innovation. one thing which came very, very clearly is that while the budgets are increasing for this year after pandemic, etc., the CIOs believe that budgets have increased. Majority of the money goes into still keeping the lights on. The cost of people have increased, the overall expenses of acquiring the new tools, new solutions, protecting your infrastructure, everything related to maintaining your status quo has increased. Just maintaining the status quo, forget about the innovation, which essentially means that one has to look at optimizing the operational expenses, and that's where you can get the money to fuel your innovation back again. With this, let me just give you what we are doing and what we looked at. By the way, this is another study that we did about close to about a year back. Most of IT leaders understand that focusing on what is the most important thing right now. We as IT leaders, we spent a lot of time, or leaders by the way, we spent a lot of time on figuring out processes, how part of it, how it will be done. But essentially when you start looking at on a broader macro level, the problem is what, is not how. How will be figured out? There are a lot of people, lot of solutions, lot of technologies are available. We looked at observability as one of the case, and as my boss says, my CEO says, he is the chief observing officer of the company. And he just keeps observing, and so as my CIO nowadays says the same thing. CISO also says the same. So everyone is observing right now. The essential part here is that how do you reach to not only observing and also to action it, or maybe build some system which automatically actions. I'll bring that conversation back to just IT management and monitoring. Most of us spent a lot of time, decades in finding out how can I sustain what is going on, how can I understand what is right, what is wrong in my environment, which was mostly about monitoring, checking the pulse, understanding signals, individual items. And most of the laggards still remain there. But many made a transition or transformation to something what we call it observing, not only about looking at the signal or monitoring it, but also observing it, why it is going wrong. Contextual signals, unified information, still, by the way, reflective, still reactive, but it is better because it is more analytical. That gives you an ability to look back what went wrong, how it went wrong, so that you can fix it. Our idea came from there only, that and looking at a large sprawl, we were mostly here. By the way, some of our most complex businesses still stand here from an IT standpoint, but we are transitioning. And majority of business, by the way, are on observing side of it or observability side of it, where we have contextual insights. But we are transitioning now, most of our businesses, we are transitioning more towards autonomous side, which means that we are making that same insight or data that we have collected, which is now correlated, which is more contextual, which is more meaningful, while it is still reflective, to make it more prescriptive, more forward looking, more future looking. And I'll talk about that, how we are doing it. This allows you to bring more efficiency in the system, and let me explain you how. So far, we have all been thinking about MTTRs, right? Mean time to repair, resolve, respond, whatever we are talking about, right? That's critical, by the way, because without fixing that, you can't move forward. But essentially, if you want to take a next step beyond MTTR, you'll have to look at MTTD, which is detect. Detection is the problem. Fixing probably is not as much of a problem. You can fix it if you know where is the problem. And it's not that you can't detect, it's just that it takes longer. So moving right is to improve your MTTD and also help you save your experts. Do more with fewer people, do more with fewer resources, do more with fewer tools. And that's the idea. I talked about the scale of Rakuten business from a business standpoint. Just an IT giving you perspective. We have about 50,000 servers, roughly about 11 data centers at present right now after all the consolidation, and that does not include our telecom cloud. Telecom cloud is more like what we call it 𝗵𝗹𝗪, 𝗵𝗹𝗪, which is more like AWS for telecom companies who are wanting to start it. That's more business focused. Our own internal IT has got roughly about 50,000 servers, is about few lakh microservices spread across 11 different data centers in about 6 regions across the globe, and that's massive. So, and for us, moving there was most important because we have huge number of teams just sustaining that, fixing the problems, or people who are on L3 levels, L2s or L3s, what we call it expert, right? Something goes wrong, you call them and you want them to fix it. We wanted really to fix it by putting up some most mundane task on automation and moving towards right side of it. With this, let me give you what we did and what we have, and that's what I sell. It's called Rakuten SixthSense. Now, Rakuten SixthSense is, by the way, is a portfolio, is not a single solution. I'm going to talk about observability first, which primarily focuses around bringing operational efficiency. All of us, you remember that first step is of monitoring is about collection, technology, collection of data from different systems, different user interfaces, browser, mobile, APM, etc. Is about signals. How effectively do you collect? So, SixthSense observability consists of 3 critical components. One is the collection side of it. The other one is platform, which is about aggregation layer, which is about alerting, which is about integration, data management, open telemetry, baselining, allowing you to do more with the same platform, etc. And the top layer is more cognitive AI side of it, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. What we are working with is neuro-symbolic AI. Neural networks have been there for some time now. We looked at how can we bring in symbolic capability also in neural network to bring in more accurate or cognitive AI capability for your operational monitoring and management, or for that matter, the entire bringing that to the autonomous side or help you make it self-healing. So, collection side, I'm not going to spend too much time here, but we all understand we probably would have looked at some APM solutions in past or probably still evaluating. This is the same. Collection is about APM, how many, what all can you monitor? Can you monitor .NET? Can you monitor Java application? Can you monitor Ruby Rail? Can you monitor Node, etc., etc., all of that? Or the end user, can you monitor mobile performances, mobile apps, browser, databases, infrastructure, etc., etc. Continues to be that. The platform becomes critical now because as the complexity grows, it also creates a lot of stress on your core system. Have you faced? I'm sure most of you would have experienced some of those observability or APM solutions. You would have faced some or the other gaps on those technologies, and the turnaround time is also very high. If the new technology comes and you ask your vendor to support it, you will see that they'll come back after really a long time. It's probably because the architecture, what they're using most, even today, they are monolithic. So when we built it, we needed a scale. So we built completely microservice-based architecture to support the scale. It is fully, of course, I don't have to mention this is reliable, this is scalable. What we also built is a very, very interesting rule engine, which is inline, which is real time, unlike many, which is post-processing. So this is inline, fairly real time. We are using industry standard technologies such as Elastic, etc., to scale it up. The OTel support also allows you, or the open telemetry support allows the the IT leaders to look at more futuristic technology. You're not dependent on your vendor. That vendor does not support, should I bring in that technology or not? So you bring in your technology, patch it here with 𝗕𝗏 by the time the full-fledged solution, full-fledged support comes in. And then the standard features of encryption. There is something that we are very proud is about the end-to-end encryption that we have achieved through secure gRPC for the remote connections as well. The most important or probably the interesting thing is here is the cognitive engine. Some of you might probably see the algorithms are, the first side is anomaly detection and forecasting. We are still using neural network algorithms. VAE spatially is based on neural network. But we also use Bayesian to make it more neurosymbolic, and that's the future. And look at what Google talks about, 20 years down the line, the entire AI has to be neural symbolic in order to sustain cognitive part of it, because so far what we have been seeing or what we have been getting is more towards relationship based AI capabilities, which allows you to just look at anomalies, just look at data points, but it doesn't provide you reasoning. It doesn't provide, so far, it does not provide, especially in IT ops when I say this, it does not provide reasoning or human level interpretation of that information. It's just static text that you get it from most of the places. So what we are doing is that we are moving away, not exactly away, we are using that, we are also enhancing that by putting up more human readable, human understandable reasoning from the system. So this is about our observability solution. Also very proud that this is built in India, supports our global internal base, but also we sell it globally from here. Most of our customers, by the way, right now are in India because we started from here, but there are a couple of customers who are using outside also. Happy to connect, just in case if you are interested, the booth is outside. Just quickly moving to the second section is about, we talked about that operational efficiency. The other part is about speed of innovation. Speed of innovation is very critical for the businesses like ours, because we don't survive if we don't innovate. We are launching our bank, by the way, Rakuten Bank in US, early January. We just got the license. We are launching Rakuten Medical here in India. All of those businesses are technology driven. Every quarter we start 2 or 3 or 4 businesses, and those businesses require speed. 40% of this is a survey, is not our survey, by the way, it's done by some 𝗖𝗏𝗄, which says that 40% of business revenues which are dependent on digital, by the way, that revenue loss occur because of the poor quality. And we looked at that, by the way, it is our problem also. So we built an end-to-end testing automation framework. Now, what is, you would see it is done by many of the vendors, but what is important is that it is end-to-end, starts from a place where you are ideating or creating a user stories. You input that, the models, and then it takes everything else as zero code or no code. So you enter from the model side of it, and everything else you get as a test execution report. Now, by combining observability and this, we came up with a very useful and interesting synthetic monitoring capability, which nobody else can deliver, which is more a synchronous way of synthetic test, which I can talk to you, outside only. I'm running out of time. But let me tell you what, this is something that helps us as of today in our business, but we are moving more towards AI/ML models, as I talked about earlier. Also to provide you information where, as a leader, you can decide or you can probably evaluate whether this particular roadmap item, should I pick it now, if I am going to deliver it in a couple of months, and you say in e-commerce situation, there is a big billion days coming up in December, and if big billion days coming in December, should I pick up this roadmap item right now? Because the chances of failing these test cases are very high in this user story. So we are moving towards more guided, more AI-driven approach for the testing automation as well. With this, I'm just gonna give you a little bit more. This is last slide, by the way, I promise. Rakuten India is, I don't know if you have seen the office, we are in 𝗕𝗏𝗄. If you are around, please do visit us. This is old Pallavi Theatre, somebody knows. Yeah, so Pallavi Tower, so this is our office, this is a new, brand new office that we inaugurated. Is right now about 2,000 people. It's 3,000-seater office, the entire building. That's the commitment for us, from us, to the business. Anybody interested, please drop in, do drop in here. And we do a lot of other activities as well out of our offices. So with this, thank you so much. I hope I was on time, was it?
Yes, you are on time, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
By the way, I probably still can take a question or two.
Yes,
can I?
you can take, yes. You are
if
on
there
time,
is any question? Yes.
On that 𝗤𝗏𝗃𝗃 platform, you mentioned about using neuro-symbolic AI and evolving into today you are using VAEs and kind of
VAE
networks
and
which are still neural
Bayesian
networks.
also.
Yeah.
Bayesian also.
Bayesian also. So the way the whole cognitive AI is evolving is using, I mean, there are two different sets now. Meta AI, if you look at 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃, he's saying, you can have self-learning, incremental self-learning AI, which can select its own data and learn.
Correct.
So has some work been done on this aspect in 𝗤𝗏𝗃𝗃?
Yes, not in 𝗤𝗏𝗃𝗃. So what we do is very interesting way we do. We run parallel threads on innovation as well as sustaining the product. We can't really innovate with the same product which is supporting a lot of customers right now. So I don't know if I did mention, we have a large R&D center here in our office. It's about 50 researchers, research scholars who keep researching on this. So I get your point. The neurosymbolic AI is not the end, it's just the immediate next step. But we are continuously looking at the auto self-learning and also redefining or retuning the models. So we have something called a data sciences platform, which keeps and which has a massive amount of algorithms either built into it, and that keeps self-training, self-learning, and readjusting the windows also fairly well. That happens separately than this, and once that is productized, we bring it here in 𝗤𝗏𝗃𝗃. That's how our approach has been so far. But we are looking at, I get your point, it's already enabled by the way, but we are looking at fine-tuning. It's not going to stop anyway, so we will continue to do that.
Thank you.